Yo, 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 YouTube, what is going on? It is Magical here again with another video. This one's going to be my Warlock Hellbringer DPS video. Now, the way I play it, and it's not difficult at all. A lot of people build their Warlocks wrong, and they don't do as much DPS, so they're always at the bottom of the DPS leaderboard in dungeons, and they're trying to figure out how to get a little bit better with that, and I'm hoping this guide will help you do so. So, first things first, the gear I'm using is all Lionheart armor, which is definitely not, to me, it's not assumingly best in slot. The Bone Devil's Ribcage and Garistro's Helm, or Helm of the Sky Blazers, what everyone's using right now to be best in slot, so those can easily be replaced, but right now with what I'm wearing, I have no issues at all. And all I'm doing is I'm using all Lion's Guard armor, the Mystic Cowl, Raid Coat, Mystic Wrist Guards, and the Mystic Gashes. No, I never really change it. I mean, every now and then, I'll swap out my helm for the Fancy Duelist, because instead of crit strike and crit avoidance, I'll take crit severity and combat advantage, which is a lot. Well, combat advantage is definitely needed. My weapon set is the Mastered +1. I use this for my healer and my DPS. I mean, every now and then for DPS, you could swap out if you want to for the Lionheart set, or Lion Guard set. Or you can swap out of the Blessed Blade if you have that and you want the higher item level instead. But, I mean, Mastered +1 works well for me because a lot of dungeons I go into, all my team is using Mastered, so we get that buff all together. So, my necklace is again a Mastered. Mastered Bronzewood for crit strike accuracy, combat advantage, and +5 Constitution. That's pretty much simple as it is on that one. And then the waist is Master Beaded for crit strike accuracy and combat advantage, so I get 2 intelligence for the magic damage boost and 2 charisma for the fort. I enjoy wearing these. I don't really ever swap them out unless I'm healing, which is going to be Amulet of Tiamat's Demise, because the Tiamat set is what I use to heal. Not everyone needs to. I think I still have over 60% heals without it, but just for the sure factor of those extra outgoing healing, I usually use those. So, next, my right ring is the Master Beaded Restoration Ring, so I get 2,700 accuracy and 900 combat advantage, and when I'm in combat with only one enemy, my accuracy is increased by 1,000, so it works phenomenal for single target bosses. I mean, the main boss is at Lom, like, it's wonderful. My second one's Ring of the Brutal Fiend +5, and this one's every 30 seconds, you gain 7,500 power for 10 seconds. Now, this effect only works in combat, does not affect companions, so obviously when you're in combat every 30 seconds, you get 7,500 power. I mean, you don't really need that if you're already capping power. So, if you already have power capped, I mean, you don't really need this. I'm using it mainly for the crit severity and crit strike, but I could also swap that out, and I could change it for different rings, for whatever I need. If I need extra combat advantage ring, or an accuracy ring, or anything like that. And most of my offense slots are all assassin rank 15s, for the crit, accuracy, combat advantage, just to boost them up there. Now, this is my 1300 shirt. It's the Weathered Wood Assault shirt. It gives me crit severity and accuracy. And when you damage or heal your target for more than 50% of your maximum hit points in a single blow, you gain 1% action points. It's very easy to do that. That's super easy to get that to proc. So, offensive slot, Azure, just for the extra crit strike right now. My pants are the Temporary Negotiators for the crit avoidance. I don't really care too much about the pants. They're going to be swapping out soon, but as of right now, I'm not really worried about them. Grimoire offense slots, Azure. Defense is Brutal. Main hand, always running 1 Tenebris, and then an Azure. Double rings on these are all Assassin 15, Assassin 15. That one's Assassin 15. Most offenses are Assassin 15 or Azure, depending on what I need to balance out with. Now, my utility slots are all dark enchantments. All dark for the fort. Never change that. Now, the artifacts I run with, Howler's Blast Scepter's normally one of the top ones. I do swap it out for the Wyvern Venom coated knives. Or sometimes I'll swap it out for Staff of Flowers if I just want to boost everyone's up with their crit strike and power, and it damages the foes too. I don't really use Trobriand's Ring, really. I've never really used this as the artifact power. I kind of just put it on if I need some extra defense or power, depending on where I'm at. But even then, this gives me the extra power, but you play it how you play it. Now, my stats, 50.2k item level, I almost have 600k health, and I'm over 6k damage. So, my power is at 80.4, which I'm not worried about capping that to 90, and I'll show you why in a little bit. My accuracy is at 48.8. My combat advantage is 51.7. My crit strike is actually 1,234 over. It's at 72.5, and then my crit severity is at 77.3. So the only ones I really worry about are my power, I worry about all of these really technically, but crit strike, crit severity, combat advantage, power. I mean accuracy. It is what it is. It'll go up, but I'll show you why I don't have this capped in a second and why I'm not worried about it right now. My fort is 53.1% for the power, crit strike, and awareness, and my awareness is always over 50%. I always make sure my awareness was over 50%. It's just the way I like to do things. Now my mounts in my stable, I got the Swarm, Polar Bear, Manicore, Boyria, or whatever he is, and I got the Cavalry Tyrannosaur. Now, all of my things, Gladiator's Ghoul, when your stamina is high, regen stamina is low, you move faster and stuff. I double that up. When you use a mount combat power, you receive a buff to all your ratings. This I enjoy. It lets you gain 2,000 to all of your ratings for 10 seconds. It only takes a minute to cooldown, so, Berserker's Rage, when your action points are over 90% full, gain 2,500 crit strike, and when your action points are below 10% full, gain 2,500 deflection. Not super needed, but mine are usually always over 90% full, so I always get that extra crit. Which I'm going to be swapping that out since I don't need the crit right now, since I'm already overcapped on it. And when you companion attacks, you gain critical severity and defense. And my Zuna attacks a hell a lot. Hell a lot. So, combat power, I'm using the Bat Swarm for all of the amazing effects that it has, like increase your damage by 12%. Slows your target by 12%, increase incoming damage to your target by 12%, reduces the target's outgoing damage by 12%, and reduces target's critical chance by 12%. Phenomenal power. Now, if I just want to be a person to go strictly for damage and not debuff, I'll just do Explosive Equalizer. I'm not really too worried about using anything else, really. Explosive Equalizer is phenomenal for just boss fights that you could solo if you don't need to debuff them, like Tom or anything like that. You can just use that, give you a hella DPS extra bonus. It's great. So, Ferocious Predators would have equipped for the power and crit severity. Now, I could just go to here and get 3,690 power, but I would like that extra crit severity, so I'm going to keep that, because crit severity is wonderful for me, so that's just what I run. I don't really use any other things here. Stalwart you could use if you want some hit points, so if you're a tank, perfect. Now, companions. My summon companion is always Zuna, but every now and then I may just summon, like, I don't know. Nothing really. The Quickling I do summon every now and then. I do summon my Quickling every now and then, but not nearly often. Not nearly often at all. So, equipment, I'm using the gold icon of the companion for 15/15 crit. 2 Indomitable 15s for the damage. Second is going to be the Ivy Grown Grimoire of the companion. So, crit severity and combat advantage with Profanes. And Profanes are for the crit, which I'm going to swap those out soon. And then the crit and accuracy Chain Talisman of the companion with Arcanes for crit severity. My combat companion bonuses are Staldorf's for the 3% combat advantage, the Phase Spider for the 3.8% combat advantage. Red Cap's Wisdom for the crit severity and crit avoidance is not really super needed, but I want the crit severity. And then Wisdom for crit severity, and then the Cell Sword for accuracy. It gives me outgoing healing too, but I'm never gonna, like, as a DPS, I don't outgoing heal. So I really want that accuracy though, so I do swap it out for that. And if I do swap this out, it would probably every now and then maybe be for Minstrel for the power if I really want it, or 3.8% crit chance with the Quickling's Wisdom. That's all I really would swap it out for. And my Boons. So I have power all the way up. That's just given. And then for my DPS, I just focused on crit. Then I went to crit severity. Then I went to combat advantage. And then I went to accuracy. Sorry, I'm getting a phone call here in the background. And then up here I have fort and increased recharge speed. I will be also going for the 1% AP gain, and then I also have the movement speed over here to run faster and maximum hit points. For my guild stronghold, I have crit strike, which I am going to swap that out right now for crit severity, and then I have hit points. And then I have Revive Sickness, which goes to mount speed when I'm not in a boss fight or something. And this is the only one active that we have for things, so Enhanced Overload. Powers. Hellish Rebuke is the main one I spam. Hand of Blight, I don't really touch, but it's there. Hellish Rebuke is phenomenal, grants 1 Spell Spark for each damage over time tick. So, Haddar's Grasp is the first ability I would always use. And then I'll use Killing Flames, because Killing Flames is the end-all be-all for Warlocks. It's just what it is. And then Hellfire Ring, serve the damage over time, along with the initial magnitude hit. And then for my dailies, I'll be using Brood of Haddar and Tyrannical Curse, which I don't use Brood of Haddar ever. I literally only use Tyrannical Curse. That's it. Class feature, Dust to Dust, your damage dealt is 5%. And then All-Consuming Curse, all at-will powers now apply curse to enemies. And now for my feats, I'll do Power of the Nine Hells. Grant your counter powers with Curse Consume or Curse Synergy, the ability to summon a Soul Puppet. I always have a Soul Puppet summoned at this point. With this, I always have it. And then you deal 12% more damage to targets afflicted with Curse, with Warlock's Curse, and since all of my abilities apply a Curse, I'm always doing 12% more damage. More DPS. Soul Investor now grants you 4% bonus to encounter damage for each stack you have. And Soul Investor, if you put someone in a Hellfire Ring, every time it ticks with the damage over time, more investment goes up. So you'll just keep on getting that. Creeping Death, when you deal damage with your at-will encounter or daily powers to enemies, they are afflicted with Creeping Death. Creeping Death deals 10 magnitude damage as necrotic damage every 2 seconds for 10 seconds. And, you know, you're always spamming things, so you're always, like, getting extra damage for that. And Soul Spark Recovery. Every 6 Soul Sparks spent on Soul Scorch reduces the encounter cooldowns by 1 second. I don't really use my R1 too much to, or tab too much to do that, so I might do this, which whenever my Soul Puppet attacks, your encounter powers are reduced by half a second, because my Soul Puppet attacks a lot. He's always out. But anyway, fellas, that is mine. Oh, and I'll show you why I don't worry about my power being capped right now. It's because 80.4. So once I use my Watermelon Sorbet and Wildstorm Elixir and I go back in, I have 90% power, 90% crit severity, almost 60% accuracy. I have at the 71.2% crit and 51.7% combat advantage. So I am capped on everything, or I'm not capped, but I'm perfect where I'm at with everything. I mean, things will go up slowly and over time, but as of right now, this is what I'm running with, and I put all of my stats into intelligence and dexterity. I didn't really care about fort too much right now, so power and dexterity. Now, if you put all of them into fort, or all of them into charisma and intelligence, then your power will be 90% without any kind of buffs or anything like that. But since I use buffs, I'm not worried about having them at 90%. I'm just gonna have it where I could buff it to 90%. And anyway, guys, that is my build for my Hellbringer Warlock. I hope you guys enjoyed, and see ya.